Have you been wanting to start your YouTube channel for weeks, months, or even years? Do you know what you should do to launch your channel, but find yourself not taking action? If that sounds familiar, then this video is for you. Here's a truth about procrastination that often gets overlooked. I don't find it talked about. Procrastination is actually an emotion regulation problem, not a time management issue, nor is it a lack of self-control. This is according to some research out of the Procrastination Research Group at Carleton University. If procrastination isn't about laziness, self-discipline, or using the latest productivity app, then maybe you've been tackling it all wrong. So what is it really about? In this video, I'll share the new science behind procrastination, outline the solution, and you can see me go through a practical exercise that you can start today. But first, a bit about my story. It may resonate with you. About 7 years ago, I was really inspired to start my own YouTube channel. As an educator at heart, the idea of being able to share with a global audience was absolutely thrilling. The fact that students anywhere in the world could easily access my content with auto-translated subtitles was something that deeply resonated with me. However, despite the clear list of positives, the potential list of negatives that might happen should I start the channel clearly outweighed what I perceived to be positives. Over 3.5 years ago, I finally took a course about producing for YouTube, joined a group of creators, so I had support and accountability. Eventually, I put it together and posted one YouTube video. But because my perception of the fears clearly still outweighed the potential benefits I could see, I once again procrastinated and did nothing. So I knew what to do, but wasn't taking the steps. So it clearly wasn't just about the work itself, right? And what task to do in what order. We all know at some level that changing behavior isn't just about knowing what to do. I mean, it's 2024. If you want to know the step-by-step behind achieving most things, you can find that information if you are an individual that has access to the internet. As I mentioned before, if you've been avoiding doing the tasks to achieve a goal that you say you want, perhaps it's time to start considering how you perceive the task or what might result from achieving that goal at a very deep level. And it can be that changing your perception is what releases the blocks and helps you along the way to actually taking action. Once I came across how to change your perception, I was able to actually take action. Let's just understand procrastination a little bit more. At its core, it's about emotions, and it's a way of protecting ourselves from any painful emotion that we fear we may have in the future. Our brains are constantly seeking relative rewards, which is why you might find yourself alphabetizing your spice drawer instead of tackling that next most important task. If you've ever done that, it's actually not fair to describe yourself as lazy, right? Alphabetizing requires focus and effort, something to be proud of. So this isn't laziness or bad time management. This is procrastination. We tend to think of it that way. Some go so far as to describe procrastination as self-harm, in that we're aware that avoiding the task is a bad idea, yet we do it anyway. This is why procrastination feels so flippin' irrational. People procrastinate because they struggle to resolve their negative mood related to the task. Yes, we procrastinate because of negative emotions. It's not actually because it's a unique character flaw or your inability to manage time. It's actually a way of coping with uncomfortable emotions, boredom, anxiety, insecurity, frustration, resentment, self-doubt. A 2013 study that came out of that research group that I mentioned talks about us procrastinating and having aversion to a task And it can be related to the task itself, but often it's related to deeper fears that we have. For example, sitting down to write the script for your next YouTube video, you may think, what if the content isn't good enough? What if people don't like it? And so you find yourself doing other things, tweaking the channel banner, or endlessly researching video equipment, or buying lots of different tech tools. This then leads to this vicious cycle, right? There's an entire body of research about the ruminative, self-blaming thoughts that we have after procrastinating. We tend to mentally beat ourselves up a bit. And these thoughts exacerbate our stress, leading to even more procrastination the next time you sit down to do a task related to this goal that you're trying to achieve. So you've been rewarded for procrastinating, and then that makes you likely to do it again, this vicious cycle. Over time, chronic procrastination doesn't just cost us productivity. It actually affects mental health, physical health. It can contribute to stress, depression, anxiety, and actually it's been linked to physical illnesses like hypertension. In a way, it's ironic and sad that procrastination, it may lead us to feel better in the moment, but then long-term, it can lead to ill health. So what to do? First step, you've actually done the first step, which is recognize that procrastination is not an act of laziness, but it's related to emotional regulation. By recognizing this, at least by listening to this description, hopefully you can now go easier on yourself the next time you do procrastinate. Just realizing this and being able to forgive yourself can help you to stop feeling bad about that behavior should you do it again. Research has shown that students who forgave themselves for procrastinating were able to procrastinate less in the future. So great, you've done first step. The second step to overcoming procrastination is to balance your specific perceptions about the task that you're working towards, or perhaps the goal that you're working towards. Right now, I will go through how to change your perception of a specific fear, the fear of being criticized on YouTube. This was one of my biggest obstacles. As someone who is an educator at heart and values learning, I was an academic for many years. Actually, I still am. Being criticized for my knowledge or intellect or my ability to explain things was very painful to me. So here is the question to ask yourself, and then you must answer it repeatedly, about 30 times, until the fear shifts and eventually dissolves. What good thing happens when I get negative comments on my YouTube video? Yes, what good thing happens? What good thing comes from negative comments about my ideas or suggestions or intellect? And then answer this 30 times. Why does this work? When you have a long list of negatives in your mind that keep you from doing an action, it's because that list of negatives feels more painful than the list of positives. When you have that imbalanced perspective, you won't start because you're afraid of that future potential pain. So you need to balance out that list of the pros and cons. All right. Now, before you think this explanation is too simplistic, keep in mind that you need to list lots and lots of benefits. You can't just think of the first 5 that come to mind. You are already consciously aware of those. You need to keep listing until you're digging up and realizing, remembering, bringing to the forefront of your mind benefits that don't readily come to mind. You need to list more and more and more benefits. All right. So here are some that I identified. Now, if this is one of the fears that you have that have kept you from posting, just listening to this list of benefits that came to my mind will help you as well. So a benefit is that getting criticism can build emotional resilience for you. Getting negative comments will spark discussion and more engagement in the comments underneath your videos. Getting criticism will help you refine your message. Me being able to respond thoughtfully to negative criticisms will show my ability to be professional. As I grow followers, being able to respond to criticism will help them appreciate my openness. Negative feedback can highlight areas where I need to improve, things that I may have completely missed that viewers need or want. It can help improve the quality of the video. It may help refine the niche or help really target the content to what the audience, the viewers really want. It will help push me to grow and overcome limitations. Getting negative comments and reading them and seeing that I actually survived will help me overcome the fear. It'll help me connect better with the audience. If it's something controversial, the algorithm may boost the video. And a comment is a comment, right? Yeah, criticism is great because it can actually help you learn more and become a more solid, knowledgeable, intellectual, academic person, right? Because you have to then think, hang on, is it right? Is the criticism solid? Should I really revisit this theory, this idea that I had? Is there any truth behind what they said? It'll help build a thicker skin, which honestly, if we're going to start publishing on global public platforms, a thicker skin is really necessary. It will help reduce the impact of any negative comments over time. Critiques will often focus on a specific point, and that may help really reinforce that thing I want to build is not necessary. People didn't need that information. They didn't want it. Or it may help me strengthen and solidify the point I was trying to make. Criticism can really remind us to stay humble, right? Because it's this fine line between, yes, every human knows what they know by virtue of having lived their life, and they are likely an expert at living their life. No one else is more of an expert at that than they are. But it doesn't mean that what worked for them will work for others. And being humble was definitely a big one. And that can be one that I think that as teachers, as educators, it's important for us to remember. Thinking of the information more critically, getting into deeper discussions, evolving the content. Negative feedback can help drive the evolution of our content, right? It can help keep our content relevant, more impactful. They may mention things that we're completely not aware of, right? There's so much new information out there. How can we constantly stay current? Getting criticism can help us overcome any perfectionist tendencies and really allow us to focus on our individual progress. We posted a video, yay. There's going to be mistakes in it, but you know what? The aim today was just to post a video. That's great. That's growth. Hopefully, as you heard those many benefits, you started to relax. As you list all the benefits, you can see that, yes, this may have been a long list of benefits, and you may need to list another 30 because the pain associated with being criticized was vast. Your imagination of how painful it would be was huge for whatever reason. So you may need to list more benefits in order to balance out the pain you fear may come from building a YouTube channel. That's fine. Then list some more benefits. If fear of criticism has kept you from starting your YouTube channel, give that method a try. And be sure to tune in for the next video where I will help you overcome another common hurdle that might be holding you back. Feel free to share in the comments challenges that you're facing, and I will include them in upcoming videos. I have a list of common challenges to tackle. Let's work together to beat procrastination and try to realize our dreams. Bye.